Here's why I chose this movie. I just moved house. It's late. My body is destroyed from carrying stuff. And I mean, we're not even done. This move has been a move from hell. And I'm sitting on the couch late, destroyed, and I realize I've signed up to do at least 1,900 more of these. 1,894 to be precise. That's not the actual number though. It's, would you like me to count? Look, Oliver, I've done the maths. You won't. Like, let me just, this is my thing, all right? We're going to get to him in a second. But the point being here that I saw this movie called I Hate Found Footage, which is something I hear at every party I ever go to these days when I tell them what I'm doing on. So it caught my interest because obviously puppets in a found footage movie. How does that work? And look, I'm just going to give them some leeway right now and count this as a found footage movie because here's the thing. Found footage movies, essentially, when you boil it all down to is, this is some footage that was recorded incidentally and then we found it. But nothing in there says it has to be believable either. And I mean, we know this is not believable to us, but in universe, I'm just going to give them some, look, man, I'm exhausted. I'm wrecked. I need something light. Okay. Please have mercy on me. And I'll tell you, I wasn't really sure about this movie, but then at one point, one of the puppets, like, it's pretty far in, but what really sold me was this one moment where a puppet looks into the lens and he says,
and our footage is found. Please turn this into a movie.
I mean, that's my entire job description, and it's delivered to me by a sock. Anyway, I just wanted to put on a movie that was just like a hang with a bunch of friends, you know, like the way a friend would insult your hometown. Your friend can do it, no one else can. In that same way, you know, I hate found footage made by found footage fans. These are the Horror Dadz guys. You know, it's that crew again. And Horror Dadz is hit or miss, but I've often thought they were overdue for an overt comedy. A lot of stuff in the Horror Dadz movies, and I'm going to cover all of them. I mean, obviously, but they're constantly touching the edge of parody. And I've often thought they should just dive right in. This felt natural. This felt right in a real way. And so it's time to do a proper intro. This is Oliver. He came with the house. The previous owners didn't mention him, although I didn't really get a chance to talk to them before they took off. We didn't get along. So we're going to break down the movie, go into it. I'm going to do some spoilers here, but I'm not really going to spoil any of the gags because it's a comedy, not a horror. If you actually find this scary somehow, even though it's a bunch of felt puppets in the middle of the day, that's on you. I am not taking responsibility for that. This is just comedy. So I'm going to get into it a little bit more than I normally would, but I won't spoil any of the gags. And we're going to dive into, should you watch it? Because like horror, comedy is subjective. So I'm going to try to give you a picture of what's going on here, so you know if it's right for you. As far as me, I'm CJ, your movie god for the Found Footage broadcast. And if you've subscribed, you're a member of the cult of the movie god. So welcome, my found footage fanatic friend. Hit the button below, you know the one, and roll the intro. Today, of course, we're looking at I Hate Found Footage. So I brought Oliver in today, in part because he's my new roommate, apparently, and I don't know what to do about that. So I hate found footage. In this movie, a couple of roommates who are puppets decide to make a found footage movie. Well, one of them does, and he kind of coaxes his roommate into going out in the woods and making a found footage movie with him. He has about as much plan as most people who make a found footage movie in the woods, meaning, there's going to be a monster and we're going to pretend we're scared at the end. It's a disaster from square one, and that's why we love them. But yeah, like I mentioned, they're puppets. They're the only puppets in the movie. Everybody else, normal human, and nobody mentions it. Nobody makes a big deal of it. Not the campers, not the killers, nobody. And again, I don't know. Is it really a found footage movie if the main characters are inanimate objects? Everyone is an inanimate object to me, eventually. The opening, you know, they're walking out in the woods and they're doing their banter, and it's like they're reading from a comedy script at the beginning, and the jokes aren't bad, But there's this weird editing where there's gaps between the sentence. One person would say something, take a beat, and the other person will say something, take a beat. And that strange metronomic editing, it bothered me at first, and then I kind of sank into it, and by the end of the movie, I emulated it, made my wife crazy. But I don't know, it threw me at first. It threw me more than the fact that they were puppets. It was this weird sort of beats, but the jokes were okay. Like, they kind of withstood the strange delivery or the strange editing or whatever that was. I don't know what that was, that strange spacing there. But essentially, the beginning of the movie is two grown men complaining about hiking for 15 minutes.
Allie, I'm dying. Allie, I need a break. I'm out of shape.
So this is the kind of energy that's really going to resonate with anyone who's ever helped anyone move. I'm sorry, I'm still on the move. It's in my head right now. But, you know, we get our run around the woods as they hold a ridiculous, what is it? A fishman. That's their big movie monster that they want to make. A fishman, which is just like this. It looks ridiculous. No notes, it's perfect. But eventually they come across actual killers who are doing actual killing stuff. And this is the moment I had to wonder about it, because we get to see, I don't know, but we see killing at a distance without some spectacular gory effects, but we see it happen. Does that make this any less of a comedy? I don't know. I'm not saying I laughed, but I didn't find it scary. So everything's like daylight, right? This is all middle of the day. It's all safe feeling, even though we're out in the middle of the woods. I've never been scared of the woods. I don't understand the fascination. But anyway, so they run from the killers, and the killers chase them, and then they eventually find another campsite, and it's just covered in dead bodies, like dead bodies everywhere. And they stop and they like examine every single one. It takes forever. Finally, someone with respect for the work. But they're examining each corpse as they go, and you're looking at the blood effects, and it's fine. But I really get the sense that what they were doing each time they approached someone was trying to make them laugh.
Such a sweet angel, Ollie.
Albert, you're being a little creepy.
Honestly, they all nailed it. I don't know how these people did it. There have to be like a million outtakes of them cracking up. It was a lot of fun, actually, watching this and having this tension. You're not really watching a movie about a couple of people looking at dead bodies. You're watching a movie about a couple of puppets trying to make actors laugh. Like that's what you're experiencing in this moment. And it was fun. It was a good time just watching everyone sort of don't twitch, you know. And then anyway, the killers catch up with them. They start running through the woods. They spend a lot of time hiding behind trees. I gotta admit that happens a lot. We spend a lot of time waiting behind these trees. And for some reason, hiding behind a tree in the middle of the day works. Like the killers never find them. Oh, nobody ever looks behind the tree. Take it from me. Anyway, they run to another couple campers, and the chase continues now with a couple of other characters to like bounce jokes off of and play out scenes. You know, before we continue, just like a really quick request, you know, because we are trying to grow this channel. I only just hit 1K, 1,000 subscribers, which is amazing, but it's only the beginning. A lot of channels never make it, and I'm going to do it anyway with your help. So please, if you would, like, sub, super thanks, join, comment, hype. Every little click is a sin scrubbed off your soul. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Moving on. So this is my favorite joke. I think my favorite, you know, they do a lot of found footage gags, making fun of the format. Every time someone says, I hate found footage, someone else says, he said it. And it's just great. You know, we're having a good time. And then, you know, in their actual run from the killers, after a plot twist I won't ruin, and after some funny little scenes, he's running away from the bad guys. And one of them does that crying confession to the camera. Editing CJ here. Yeah, I was dead wrong about that. The scene I'm thinking of happens like way earlier in the movie.
There's a creature out there. I'm so scared.
This is what I get for not writing a script ahead of time. I need to get way more organized. But they do a kind of a fun twist at the end of this movie that sort of breaks the format in a really satisfying way. So, hey, it's even better. Like Blair Witch. It's like Blair Witch, but high noon. Everyone apologizes eventually. The lighting doesn't matter. So, you're on a timeout. You're on a timeout for the rest of this episode. No. And yeah, there's some like things that don't work. Again, we're hiding behind trees for a long time. At one point, we hear these footsteps that sound like they're like right on top of us. And after a very long time of waiting for those footsteps to approach, we see them way off in the distance. I don't know what that was. That was a weird edit, but it was, whatever. You know, essentially though, what we're doing is we're watching a bunch of friends hang out and make a movie. And when the credits roll, that's what we see. We just see clip after clip of just a bunch of friends hanging out in the woods, having a good time, and they've invited you on for the romp. That's what we're watching. That's what it's all about. Which I kind of leads us directly into the main question, the big question, the only question that matters. Should you watch it? You know, I want to be clear that the boring parts in this movie are dead boring. I sat behind that tree with them. I aged behind that tree. If the jokes have to have like perfect delivery and the tension needs to exist for a movie to count as found footage for you, I mean, skip it. I'm not going to defend it. I'll defend the hangout because, you know, if you've ever owned a camera and had a friend and wanted to go out and have some fun making a dumb movie together, this is that experience in a nutshell. This is like hanging out with a bunch of buds. And yeah, it's goofy jokes, a nice light hour and a bit. I think if you're looking for something light, and if you've had a hard week, if you had a hard week like me, this movie is perfectly timed. So, you know, check out I Hate Found Footage. It's pretty good. In fact, you know what? I'm so grateful. I'm going to induct I Hate Found Footage into a sacred order. I hereby induct I Hate Found Footage to the Sacred Order of the Felt Heart. Long may... My heart's felt. The rest of these are real. I think I like them. Next up, I'm going to do, this movie I've wanted to watch forever, and it's finally available on Found TV. By the way, Found TV, not a sponsor. I just like it. FoundTV.com is a free streaming service, so check it out. And they also have the next movie I'm going to review, which is called 1974, The Possession of Altair. I'm never going to remember that all by myself. I'm going to have to read it over and over during the review, and it's the way it's going to be. Awkward as hell. That's me. So, but yeah, 1974, The Possession of Altair. I have seen clips of this. I've wanted to watch it forever. Could never find one that had the proper subtitles or dubbing or whatever. And finally, Found TV found it for us. So I'm really looking forward to this. It looks scary as hell, like a real analog horror kind of vibe, but it is found footage, absolutely. And then after that, I don't know, because here's the problem I'm having. Found TV is like cranking out title after title after title lately, like great stuff. But I don't want to like over support them. They're going to be like an unofficial sponsor that doesn't pay me out at this point. So I don't know. I'm going to look around and think about what I'm going to do next. I might finally get around to doing The Monster Project. And the other one I was going to finally get around to doing was The Devil's Doorway, which was my confusion from a few episodes ago. So depending on when you're watching this video, these reviews might already be up on the channel. Check it out. And thanks for hanging out with me, my friend. I'll see you next time.